Welcome back everyone to Blender and Unreal Engine becoming a dungeon prop artist. And we sure are becoming a prop artist because we're really motoring along now. So let's have a look at the next one though. So the one we want to create here is this one, which is the chest. But we also want to create, if I open up this, is this one here as well. So we want to make one chest like this. And then we want to basically split it in half, take the top of it off, and have it for the second chest full of the treasure and things like that. So that's what we're going to work on. So at the moment though, we'll focus our attention on this main chest, and then finally we'll focus on this gold and things like that. So let's put that one down. Let me move that one over the left hand side of the screen. But before we do that, I did actually forget that we do actually want to put some decals on our crate. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to move this one out here. I'm going to grab this one and this one. I'm going to press Shift H just to hide everything out of the way, and then I want to bring in some decals. So the first thing though to bring in decals, or the easiest way to do it, especially on something that's flat like this, is basically to come in, go to Edit, Preferences, and what we want to do is Image as Plane. So Image, and you'll have one that says Image as Planes, and you want to actually tick this on. Now once you've ticked this on, it means that you're going to get a new option. So if I press 1 now, because remember as we talked about before, with the actual references when you bring them in, you want to bring in your images plane straight on view. So if I press Shift A, come down now and you'll see image, and you'll see one that says images planes. Now before we do that, what I want to show you is we want to bring in some images from our textures, and you can see that we've got all of these decals here. Now if I go to, let's say, this one, you can see that I've got the eagle crest, the lion crest, the grapes, and things like that. You want to make sure that you can see them before clicking on them. So what you want to do is you just want to put this on, and now you can see exactly what they're going to come in like. So I can see that this is my opacity, my roughness, things like that. I'm not going to worry about any of those yet. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to click on this, which is the actual base color. Now you'll see that I've brought that in. You'll also see that it's set up a material for me. So now if I press R and X and 90, here is my actual decal. Now, a little problem that you're going to have with some of the decals, for instance, is that they're not actually going to come onto like this chest perfectly flat or anything like that. But there is a way around that what you can do. So I will show you. If we bring in, let's say, a sphere or something like that. So let's bring in a UV sphere. We're going to put this, make it pretty big, and we're just going to put this over here like so. And basically, I want to show you how you can actually make your decals fit around this sphere. Now, just before we do that, let's first of all shade off this UV sphere. So it's right-click, shade smooth. Let's then come back to our actual images plane. And you will notice one thing in that. We can't actually see through this. So it's not actually a decal. It's just a plane. So we do need to sort that out. So how do we do that? Well, basically, we can go in now because it actually says default material base color. We'll just call this decal, and we'll call it eagle, like so. And now we can go in and we can go to our shading panel, and we can bring in now those textures. So if I zoom out, you will see that I've got a base color in here, but nothing else. The alpha is coming from the base color, and that's not what I want because this is not, we've already got an opacity that's actually going to do that for us. So basically, if I unplug this and I come to my principal, press Control Shift and T, and then what I want to do is find my eagle now, which is going to be under, let's have a look, it's going to be under Dungeon Additional Ornaments, and we've got the eagle crest. And then what we want to do is we want to bring in these. So we've got a metallic, we've got a open GL, we've got our opacity, and we've got our roughness. And let's click Principled. And there we go. Now we brought it in, and now you can see it's perfectly like a actual decal. It's even got a load of bits that are actually broken off, as you can see, and it looks really nice. All right, so the next problem we've got is we need to make sure that it sits flush against any surface that we want to actually put it on. So how do we actually do that? So what we want to do first of all is we want to actually tell Blender that he wants to wrap around this sphere. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over to my modifiers, and first of all, I'm going to reset the transformation. So Control A, all transforms, set origin to geometry, add modifier, and the one we want is shrink wrap. Now, what does it want to shrink wrap round? This is the target. So if I come up and I put this, click on the sphere, you'll see that it actually goes straight to the actual sphere because that is what it wants to shrink wrap around. Now, the next problem we've got is that it hasn't got enough subdivisions or anything like that to actually wrap around here. So what I want to do is I want to bring in another modifier, and I'm going to bring in a subdivision surface. I'm going to put it on simple. I'm going to turn it up a couple, and now you'll see that I can change the offset and bring it up, and it will at least try, once I've applied this subdivision, wrap around my sphere like so. So now I can bring it back, bring this back, sorry, with the shift button and wrap it around my sphere, and there you go. That is how you can actually put your decals on spheres or on cloth and things like that. It's all basically determined by how many subdivisions you've actually got in there. So now we know that. Let's actually go back. So we don't want to put it on our sphere. So I'm going to take off the shrink wrap. So I'm going to take that off. I'm going to keep my subdivisions on. I'm going to put it on something like maybe 4. Let's have a look how many that is. So let's press Control A over in my subdivision. Let's press Tab. And I think that should be enough subdivisions. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take my sphere and delete it. And then going to go to Modeling. And then what I'm going to do with this is I'm actually going to bring it now. I just want to make a copy of it first. So I'm going to press Shift D, make a copy of it. And then I'm going to press Shift D again, make another copy of it. And this one now, I actually don't want to be my decal eagle. I want it to actually be something else. So I'm going to minus this off, click New, and I'm going to call this one decal wheat, like so. I'm going to go back then to my shading panel, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to press Control Shift and T, and I'm going to bring in the wheat one. So we can see we've got grapes, we've got swords, we've got wheat. Here's the wheat one. So let's bring in all of these. So we're going to click on, I'm not going to click on the ambient occlusion. I don't think I need that. I'm going to click on all of these, open GL, and of course the opacity and roughness. And let's have a look at that now. And there is my actual wheat as well. All right, so we've got both of these now. They're good to go. And all I'm going to do now is going to Shift D. I'm going to bring it over like so. And now what I'm going to do is I want to put these basically with my materials. So you've actually got your decals just in case you need them, because if we press Tab, you've already got your subdivisions on. The only thing you've not got on these is a shrink wrap, but you now know how to do that. All right, so now back to modeling, and let's put this one on here. So if I come to this one, I'm going to put this one on the front of it, and then I've just got to decide where I actually want it. So something, that's the wrong one. You can see I'm grabbing it through here. Let's move these to the side. They're not actually going to work like that. Let's also check this wheat out. I'm not sure why it's gone the actual other way now. Decals, let's see. Is it see-through or not? Yeah, it is see-through. I'm not sure why it's actually done that. But anyway, it is see-through. So let's come to this decal first. Let's press 1. And now we should be able to see through there. And let's put it right on, right about there. Now, the other thing you will notice is as soon as I put this on, we are going to have some problems with it. So I'm going to put it onto here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in a modifier, bring in a shrink wrap. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to click my target as this. And there we go. Now I just want to change the offset a little bit. So bring it back. Now, the problem with the shrink wrap, using that on anything that's, let's say, square, anything like that, you'll end up causing yourself a lot more problems. So I would say that only use the shrink wrap if you're creating something like a sphere or something like that. So let's turn that shrink wrap off, and let's bring this back now just flat onto our actual crate, like so. And you can see that looks a ton better like that. All right, so I'm happy with that. The one thing I'm not happy with is these lines on here, as you can see. I need to actually cut those away. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to press Tab, go in, and I'll just grab this line here. So I'm going to grab this line. I'm going to move it up. Now, when you move it up, you're going to change the UVs very slowly, gradually, but not enough that you're going to notice. So I'm going to press Control B, bring it out very gradually, and press Delete and Faces. And there we go. We've got rid of that one. Let's come in now and grab this line here, pull it down very slightly, press Control B, pull it out, and then Delete Faces. And finally then the bottom one, so Alt Shift and click, bring it down very slightly, press Control B, pull it out, delete, faces, tab, double tap the A, and there you go. You can see that looks really, really nice. It fits it really good. All right, so I do want maybe one on the other side, but I think what I'll do is I'll just mirror it over to the other side. I don't think I'm going to have one on top. And on the next lesson, we'll just put one on here, some wheat or something like that, which is one we've already got out. All right, everyone, so I hope you enjoyed that. I'm going to save out my file, and I'll see you on the next one. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.